Bonjour, myself Professor Shalini, and today we are going to learn verbs in French. The verbs called as les verbes in French, and in this video I am going to explain you how to use the verbs of different groups, how many groups are there in verbs, and how we conjugate them. Although the different group of verbs conjugation we have learned already in my previous videos. So today I'm just going to explain you the different group of group of verbs only. So let's begin. Before that, before the conjugations of the different group of group of verbs, I'm just want to tell you why the verbs conjugations and why these are very important. Before studying the present tense in French, you need to be familiar with the grammatical terms in chapter presenting verbs. The conjugate a verb in the present tense, you will need to find the root of a verb to which you will add the ending corresponding to desired tense. The root of the verb is found in its infinitive form. In English, the infinitive is preceded by the preposition to. For example, to say, to wear, etc. Infinitives in French are not preceded by an equivalent of the preposition to. They are identified according to group by their endings, like er, ir, re, or oir. As I have explained the different groups of the verbs in my previous videos, so you can see them in the example as well. So let's quickly revise the group of verb conjugation, and then we will learn what are the other groups we are following in group only. So as you know, the regular verbs in present we were following by these endings. The conjugation rule we know already, as we were following the simple rule, the radical plus endings whenever we are conjugating any group of verbs. So same rule we will follow in these group of verbs as well. And whenever you are learning any tense in French, as I have mentioned in my previous slide, the endings plays very important role. In French language, when you are learning the different tenses, so ending defines the conjugations, and the endings of any verb conjugated verb defines the tense of that particular verb. Okay, so as you know, the endings of group of verbs are es, ons, ez, and ent. The es, and ent endings of the verbs are all silent. The final s of nu, vu, il, or l links with the verbs beginning with the vowel sound, making a z sound. This is called a liaison. This liaison rule I have already explained in my previous video. So if anybody is having any confusion, so please you can follow that video link. So in example, I have taken two verbs here, the parler verb and the chanter verb. Parler verb means to speak and chanter verb means to sing. When you are conjugating these two verbs, so we are just removing er from the verb and following the endings when we are conjugating that. The conjugation rule and how we can conjugate that, I have explained you already. So in the example, as you can see, I have taken two sentences. The first one is Parlez-vous italien, which means do you speak Italian? And the second one is Combien de langues parles-tu, which means how many languages do you speak? So as you can see in these two examples, we are using the interrogative sentences. Same way, you can use these conjugations in any form of sentence. It could be affirmative sentence, interrogative sentence, or negative sentences. So now I'm coming on the different groups of ER ending verbs. The first group of ER ending is CER. The identification of these verbs would remain same, like you were identifying with the endings. So same way these verbs would end on CER. The conjugation rule will remain same. The way you were conjugating ER, rest ER group of verbs, the same way we will conjugate these verbs. The ending will also remain same in this. The only one thing will change in the conjugation of no. Some spelling changes occur with the some ER regular verbs with verbs ending in CER, such as pronounce, which means is to pronounce. The C becomes C sedil before the letter O. The sedil under the C is needed to keep the soft pronunciation of the C in the infinitive form. As you can see, we are using only this accent when we are conjugating this pronunciative verb. The rest conjugation will remain same as ER group of verbs. And why we are doing these changes? These changes we are actually use only to maintain the pronunciation. Some ER verbs, otherwise regular, show spellings or stem changes in the present tense, largely to maintain the pronunciations. These can be learned according to their groups. So these changes which we are following in different ER group of verbs only for the pronunciation purpose. So this was the first change in CER ending verbs. Follow this sedil accent. The next group which we are following in ER ending group, that is GER. GER ending with the verbs GER such as voyager, which means is to travel. The G becomes GE before the letter O. So as you can see in these conjugations, we are changing only one conjugation, that is also with no. The rest conjugation will remain same as ER ending verbs. So in that new conjugation, we are following the extra E with the ending of ONS. Right? So whenever you are conjugating GER ending verb, so in that case with the conjugation of nu, you just need to follow these extra E. D'accord? Fine. So let's move to next group, that is ELER endings. Some verbs composed of E plus L plus ER, such as appeler. Appeler means to spell. Sometimes take two L's in all but the first and second person plural. It means whenever you are conjugating any verb which is ending on ELER, so we will conjugate with the double L except with the first and second person plural. Means with the conjugation of nu and vu, we will follow only single L, and in the rest conjugation we will follow the double L. Right? So you can see in the example also, I have taken for example appeler verb. So when you are conjugating appeler, so with je we are using double L, with tu also we are using double L, and LL singular and in plural form also we are using double L. The single L we are using only in the conjugation of nu and vu. Right? And for examples, I have given some more verbs which will be conjugate like epele, that is appeler, ensorcler, and etc. And our next group of YER. YER verbs also having a little change in the conjugation. In these YER verbs, Y changes to NI in all form except the nu and vu. For example, I have taken envoyer, which means to send. So when you will conjugate the this envoyer verb, so as you can see in the conjugations, the endings are same as ER group of verbs, but we are adding extra I in the conjugation of je, tu, il, and il plural. In the previous groups we were changing in the conjugation of nu or some other conjugations, but here we are just changing the conjugation with je, tu, il and il plural. The nu vu conjugation will remain same as you were conjugating the rest er group of verbs, and the other conjugation we are adding I with the endings of er group of verbs. So it would be end with IE, IES, IE, and in the plural form IENT. I hope these examples were, you know, enough to explain the different conjugations and the different rules to conjugate the different groups of the ER group, right? So if you will practice these different group of conjugations, it would be very easy. The some other verbs also given with the other examples. So the practice exercises are also uploaded in the classroom. Hope these examples are helpful to understand the concept of the conjugation of different groups of ER ending verbs. Thank you, students. Keep learning.